Hello, good people of St. Martin, and welcome to the Integrity Chamber's video series, Integrity in Voting. I'm your host, Kevin James, and to shed some light on the subject matter, I have with me here today retired civil servant and member of the Integrity Chamber, Mr. Rafael Boasman. Mr. Boasman, it's a pleasure to have you.
Nice to be here, Kevin.
So the first question I want to ask you is, why do you think voting is important?
Well, voting is important because we live in a democracy. And in a democracy, the voice of the people, the participation of the people in the actual governing of the people is very important. That's why we have the phrase vox populi, which is a voice of the people. And the way we get the participation of the people is by them going to the polls and casting their votes and electing those votes who they want to represent them. So voting is an essential part of the democracy and maintaining the democracy in which we live.
Wise words. Thank you for that. And so the next question I had for you is, from your perspective, what do you look for in a political candidate?
When someone offers themselves to be elected to represent the people, I think what we should look at and look for is not popularity, not how popular that person is or whether they are related to us or friends to us, but we should look at who they are as a person. But also not only that, we should also want to know their plans. What are they going to do for the country? How are they going to do it? And whether or not they would involve us in the process. So yes, I would go to the poll and I would elect someone that I think is capable of representing me based on how they say they would go about doing that and whether I would have a participation, whether I would have a voice in those decisions that are very important to my well-being.
You've given us some very important things to think about. And so the next question I want to ask you relates to a challenge that we face here on St. Martin, and that is, what can be done to encourage voting and for the right reasons?
There's a lot that needs to be done in order to encourage voting, and especially for the right reasons. First of all, the political parties have to be actually involved in the process of informing the people what their plans are once they get elected or should they get elected. They should produce a manifesto. They should highlight the areas of importance that they plan to tackle when in office. It is also very, very important that information via the media, even in the schools, pertaining to voting, is distributed among the population. I think the essence of informing the people is more important than anything else in the process.
Some very good ideas you've given us to think about there. And so my next question takes it now to the responsibility of the citizens. And so I'd like to ask you, how can citizens ensure that they are voting with integrity?
It's about doing the right thing, all right? Once a citizen is informed as to the reason that they're going to the polls to cast their votes, that should be the concentration, that should be the only goal. You should not want to vote or go to vote based on promises for anything in return. You should not go out and sell your vote. You'll be selling your voice. You'll be selling your participation in the process. Once a politician paid you for your vote, they owe you nothing. They don't even owe you that good representation that it should all be about. I think the voter should be an informed voter. The voter should listen to what the politician has to offer. I think it is more important for a politician to inform the people as to how they are going to go about taking care of the country's business, rather than telling the people that why they should not vote for someone else. So it's about right and wrong, and we all have that born instinct of knowing what is right and wrong, and it is just wrong to be able to sell your vote or to vote for any other reason than picking the right person to represent you in government.
Well, Mr. Boasman, thank you for taking the time to share with us. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, we have an election coming up in a few months, and again, the citizens would be called to go out and vote on the different candidates of the political parties. I would like to call on all eligible voters to make use of this right. It is a right that we too often take for granted. And a lot of times, folks who are not happy with the process, you would hear that they would indicate they would not go to vote. Not going to vote is agreeing with exactly what you are not in agreement with. So you should always go out to vote. It's a right that we have on St. Martin that we still can practice without any hassles. In many countries throughout the world, even in countries like the United States right now, you would hear folks still arguing and fighting as to the rights of the people to be able to vote is being undermined in one form or the other. We don't have that process on St. Martin. Voting is by secret ballot. Nobody knows who you vote for, but you definitely should go out and vote and make use of that democratic right that you have.
Thank you again, Mr. Boasman. And to the people of St. Martin, we have now come to the end of the Integrity Chambers video series, Integrity in Voting. We do hope this conversation was beneficial to you, and thank you for supporting us on our mission to build integrity for future generations.